Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today is somebody who I met on Instagram. They are such an amazing and awesome cosplayer, and that is Hanaka Ayami. Hanaka, how are you doing today?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me and having me today. It's a big honor to be here. In fact, it's the first time I'm a special guest. So I'm really very proud. So thank you so much. Really, I
Hey,
appreciate
you're
that.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, you're an awesome and amazing cosplayer. You're very nice, and I'm happy that you're happy to be here. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So Hanukkah, are you ready to get into today's interview?
Yes, I'm very ready.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Hanukkah, the first question that I ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Well, I always love anime, manga, and always have a love for Halloween costumes. So when I learned many years ago about cosplay, that the cosplayers made their own costumes, I was wow, that's all I love. Halloween, anime, manga. So the thing is, I have a grandmother. She
Mhm.
was a seamstress. So I wanted to do my own costume. So I started my way in 2012. I went to a small um, Asian Language Academy opening.
Mhm.
They were, hey, you have your costumes, come here. And I used my first costume that I made with needle and thread. I didn't have a sewing machine. And I went there, oh, I do cosplay, I'm here. And that's how all started with me.
Yo,
That
that's awesome. That's awesome. And every time when I interview somebody, it's just like everybody has similar origin stories where they got into cosplay because of Halloween. And I think it's awesome too that you had somebody to help you with your costumes when you first started and whatnot. That's always like a really cool thing, especially when you get family involved because they see how passionate you are about wanting to do this. So I want to ask you now, like, how was it when you went to your first convention?
it was really awesome because all the interaction I had before was through internet forums, and I didn't know that it was a lot of people in my city that love anime. Always was with people of Mexico, another country. So I was amazed that in my city was a lot of people that have the same thoughts as me, the same likes, and have their opinions about characters. So going from internet world to a real world and sharing that with friends was amazing. As I told you, it was a little opening, the
Yeah.
first event. That wasn't a con, was just, okay, yeah, gather you there. And I was like, and Disneyland. So, oh my God, she was making makeup. Oh my God, she's making you from Mirai Nikki, like featured diary. I
Mhm.
was, oh my God, she's there. I was crazy. I went nuts. That taking pictures with everywhere. Even it was like 15 persons there. So I was fresh.
That's awesome. And the piggyback off of something that you had said when we first started doing the interview and whatnot, you said that finding out that there were other people that loved anime just like that's something that I hear a lot of too, especially from people that are from different countries and whatnot, that they didn't think that there were other people that loved anime. They didn't think that there were other people that loved cosplay and whatnot. And that's why I always love hearing how different it is in other places over the world and whatnot, because it's like everybody always has really interesting stories. So it's like you've done so many amazing cosplays, and we actually worked together on a collab for Demon Slayer. I love your Demon Slayer
Yeah,
cosplays.
thank
But
you.
you're welcome. But you already know your boy loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you've done a ton of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplays. So I want to ask you, out of the JoJo cosplays that you've done, which ones are your favorites?
Hmm. Oh my god, I can't decide. I love so much Jonathan. That's why I cosplayer every now. Oh my god, I love all JoJo. I can't decide. It's a hard question. I mean, I love every part. Every part has the special and unique thing that makes it special. You can compare Phantom Blood to Diamond is Unbreakable because they are different things and I love them. I am JoJo lover.
Yeah.
But I love the characters I have cosplayed. I could say that I love mm, mm, Weather Report. Oh my god, this
Nice.
is my favorite from part 6. From part 5, I can see Journal. I love Journal. From part 4, I could see Rohan, Kira, Josuke. Part 3, Kakyo and Iggy. I want to have just the name of the Iggy. I don't know how to the name of that race of dog, but I just want to have that dog to name it Iggy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was watching part 3 earlier when I was at the gym today, and it was the episode where Iggy was fighting against what was the Hawk's name?
It was special.
Yes, yeah. And it's like I love Iggy, and I love the episode because Iggy, he shows that he is a capable fighter, and when it comes down to it, he is a good pet. Well, he's not really a pet, and he's not a person. He's a good dog. That's what he is. He is a good dog. Iggy is a really
He is the dog, definitely the dog, the best dog.
Yeah. So it's like you listed some of your favorite characters from all of the parts and whatnot. I want to know which villain is your favorite villain, if you had to choose one.
I could say Kira because he is a normal person. He was quite light. I'm on my 32.
Yeah.
Next week I will turn 31. I want extend the same. I just want to do my exercise, have a quiet life, having my job,
Yeah.
keep my job. But he was extremely insane. I
Yeah.
would say pushy, but I hate pushy. I understand pushy. So my favorite villain is Kira. He's a human. Cars is a god. So I can compare Cars with Kira. Kira and Super. Even being a single human that loves him, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I was at the summer seat seeing the last chapters of part 4 like that and like that. Oh my god! What is this? What is this? My god! Was awesome.
The only thing is with you comparing yourself to Kira, you don't want to make anybody explode, right?
Yes, honestly. I was like, oh my god, who is next? Oh my god, it was Rohan, then Josuke, then Yotaro. Oh my god, I love the little child. I forgot the name.
Hayato.
Oh my god, he was the MVP there. Without him,
I agree. Yeah, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have been able to defeat Kira. So I want to ask you now, if you had your own stand, what would your stand, like a stand that's not in the series, what would your stand be, and what would your stand's ability be?
Oh my god. I'm representing my culture now, so I would choose salsa musician, so I could go with a stand with the name of Nietzsche Group,
Okay.
salsa group, or Guayacan Orquesta, and the power would be like, I don't know, maybe something like Rohan, the ability to change things. Obviously, no writing, just like manipulating the mind, control mind, something like that. But I'm clear that I would use a name of a local band or a very important music band from here. That's the
Oh,
thing I have clearly.
that's awesome.
I characters on my stand, that will be decided later. I can say that my stand is like the Jonathan Joestar, the theory that it's like some kind of hermit purpose, something like
Yeah.
that, something like that. Yes. Let's keep my stand like a mystery.
Okay.
Just have a Colombian music band name. Yeah, salsa,
Okay.
salsa music.
So
Please, every time you hear about salsa music, please remember Hanaka.
so now I want to ask you, because like of all of the cosplays that you've done, you actually make the cosplays yourself, right?
Yes,
So
most
like
of them.
so what is the process like of making the cosplays? Like how long does it usually take you to get everything done?
When I calculate the materials that I need, I look for the complexity of the dress. For example, this costume looks very difficult to make, but isn't too complex to design because the skirt is a big circle, so you spend the time sewing and doing these little details. So I calculate the details that I need, the fabric that I need because this cost a lot of fabric, like 5 meters of fabric.
Mhm.
So and an important thing is how much I'm hyped about the costume because I have hot pants on my making list and it was from 3 months ago, and I don't have the inspiration to finish her. I just need to make the hat, the hat, yes, the hat, and some details, and finish. But I don't have the energy to do that. So it depends in the design and in the hype I have in the time to make that. It changed. For example, the your for your red dress.
Yeah.
I did it in a week.
Nice.
Every day, spending just 1 hour on the night sewing and making the day. It depends on the height mostly. But
Now,
yeah, there's nothing impossible. If you have the time, even if you have 20 minutes a day, you can do any costume.
now, now I want to ask you, like, has there ever been a time where, you know how it is with con crunch and you got to get something done? Like, have you ever had any instances like that where it's like you had to hurry up and get a cosplay done before time ran out?
Oh, no, I usually, if I don't want to make the costume, I for the save the lazy to make that. I bought them, but I know that the online shop always lasts like 1 or 2 months delivery.
Mhm.
So it's almost the same time if I do or I bought the costume. So I always have the time calculate. Always the biggest convention here in Colombia. It's called SOFA and always happens in October. So
Mm.
I know my time. So
Yeah.
I want that costume. I know that I have to order now. If I want it comes before October. So that's how it works. If you know your times and how much you can spend making or how much it will cost or how much time will be the costume to arrive here, you can play with those times with no difficulties.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are here online shops that deliver the costume the few next week, but I always choose to go with something more secure like AliExpress, Shopee, that kind of stores, even Amazon.
Yeah. All right.
Who's that cosplayer? Krabby Fins.
So
Nice.
go there. Yes.
Nice. I mean, so it's like pretty much you already know what you are going to do before it gets to that time period. So I think that that's really awesome. It's like, so that way it's like you're not waiting to the last minute to get your cosplay done. It's just like you're making sure that you get it done at the required time. So then after that, it's like if you want to make another cosplay or if you just want to chill, you can just do that. So I think that that's really awesome. So it's like I know that you mentioned you live in Colombia, you go to the cons there. Have you ever thought about coming to any of the cons over here in America?
Oh, I always thought to go to Comic Con at San Diego. That's
Oh
my
yeah,
biggest dream. Yeah, because well, the little thing is if you are not a USA citizen and you are a Colombian citizen, you need visa. How they spell visa?
yeah,
Well,
visa,
the
yeah,
special permission to get there. And if you try to do the on the paperwork and everything, the schedule and date to the interview are taking like 3 years of waiting. So it's
dang,
a little hard. If you are, I don't know, I have my husband, for example, American citizen, he can ask me, and I will be like in 2 or 3 months. That's
yeah,
the easy way. Or if you have a job there, they could ask you through a letter. She will be working there. Please allow her the entrance. So it's a little difficult to go to the United States speaking for me.
yeah,
Obviously, Colombian people that obviously, yeah, they have their visa and are USA citizens or have they green card, everything. But in my case, I haven't done the paperwork. I am a lazy person. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I know a lot of people that want to meet there, and I have made a lot of friends in the USA through Instagram, and I'm so happy. I'm very eager to meet you, but you can see I am a lazy person and I haven't done anything yet. So I'm so sorry. But um, coming back to the important question, yes, my biggest convention is San Diego Comic Con, the biggest that I want to attend someday. But I have heard about Katsucon, and another kind of conventions across the whole USA. So I really want to attend most of them, especially where there are friends that I met on Instagram. I want to meet all of them. If I could have the chance, definitely I could go everywhere to meet
awesome.
all of you.
That's awesome. And I hear that from a lot of people that they want to go to San Diego Comic Con. That's a pretty big one over here. Then, of course, like you had mentioned, KatsuCon. I went to KatsuCon this year and I met so many people from all over the world, people from Canada, people from Ireland, people from Australia came all the way to KatsuCon just to, have a good time and meet their friends and stuff. So I hope that you can come over here one day and then we can meet each other. You can meet some of your other mutuals that you met online. It's like you were saying about, the visas and taking so long to get everything done. Like one of my friends, she lives in Mexico and she was telling me that like, it's the same process. It's like 2 to 5 years just to get everything done especially because of the pandemic and whatnot, like that kind of
Yes.
slowed things down.
Damn it. Yes, because the process usually takes just 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
I tried before, but I was rejected.
Yeah, that really
Yeah,
sucks.
that's it.
That sucks. So now I want to ask you, when you're not cosplaying, like what are some of your hobbies that you're into? I know that you said that you're a lazy person, that you just want to sleep and you want to work out and whatnot. But like, what are some cool things that you like to do when you're not cosplaying?
Well, some things I like to do exercise. Thanks to cosplay, I take the habit to exercise, not only for cosplay, just for when I grow older, like 50s or 80s. I want to be able to move,
Yeah.
to keep my independency, to don't need the help of somebody else. So I do exercise thinking about that. No about the physics. Oh, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. But I really want to have a really good health when I grow older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's my biggest goal when I do exercise. Even I'm a lazy person, as you can see. I try to go at least 3 times per week. And besides exercise, I like to read a lot of fan fiction. I love fan fiction. I know that's the another state of a manga and anime fan. It's I need answers. I have a lot of questions, so I need to read another stories that clear that part for me, or I don't like that ending, or I don't like the canon ship, so I will read about my favorite ship, hetero, B, homo. I like everything about my favorite characters and manga anime. So besides exercise and reading fan fiction, I like to cook. Yes,
Ooh.
I love eating. I love food. So I spend my time making proper meal for me, my breakfast, my dinner, my lunch, everything. So and that I'm like Kira, basically, a lady that works hard, want to have a healthy life and a quiet life, and enjoying food. I love food. That
Yeah, and it's like if you're gonna eat a lot of food, you gotta stay working out. So I totally understand where you're coming from. And especially too, when you work out, you feel good, you feel great, and you're able to, do a lot of stuff longer at conventions, because at conventions there's a lot of walking, and sometimes if you're carrying heavy props, or you're carrying stuff that you buy at a convention, if you exercise, you'll be able to go all day. Like there is times where I go to a con and it's like I'm good the entire con, and it's like after the con is when I start crashing. But I rather be good at the con the entire time than not being good at the con. So I think that it's really cool that you like to do all that stuff. You like to cook, you like to read. And of course, as somebody that's in the gym all the time, I love that you love to exercise. So we're here at the end of the interview, Hanaka, and I just want to say that it's been an amazing time talking to you. Well, I got to ask you one final question before we wrap this thing up. And that final question is, if you could give any advice to anybody that would love to get into cosplay, what advice would you give them?
mm, please do whatever you want, any character you want. If you like, if you are a boy and want to do a girl, or a girl that wants to do a boy costume, you. If you have any doubt on how to approach, please. Today we have reached to all kind of technology information. You can find on internet a lot of tutorials, videos. Even you can on Instagram, Facebook. How could I can do that clothes? Where I could find that piece? And if you don't have any money, because that's a big problem for many people, do as you can. Don't try to. Oh, I have to buy the most expensive wig, or I just need the best of the costume. No, cosplay is about you have fun. If you want to start from zero to make your costumes, try and fail. Do once and again. And if you don't feel secure of using your costume, don't feel shy. Try and don't stop because uh, thinking about what others will think stop most of the people to pursue what they want. So don't be afraid to cut the fabric. Don't be afraid to use a cheap wig. There are a lot of tutorials to make a wig cheaper to look like a fancy one. So try. That's my advice. And don't be afraid to ask for advice. If you know more skilled cosplayer, ask them or major questions. You can reach. We are a community. We can answer the questions. Is that people don't, that person didn't answer? Try with another, but please don't give up. Try everything you want to try, and don't let that anyone tell you that you can't. You can try it, and cutting your wig, making your own clothes. It's okay if you want to buy everything. It's all right too. So please, do as you want. And the important thing is that you are happy and you try and don't feel in despair if you saw that your costume is getting not so mm, same like the character. That's where everybody starts. I started making awful things, and that keeping going and going and going is what have me today here in sharing with you. So that's a mix of a lot of advice and of the piece of knowledge I want to share with you. I hope that I was a little clear. And when I talk faster, I don't spell so well. So that's my advice.
Hey, well, I think that it was pretty solid advice, and it's fine that you went a little long giving the advice because it's like you never know who's going to watch this interview, and what you just said may inspire them. And that's the reason why I love interviewing cosplayers. That's the reason why I do Who's That Cosplayer, because everybody always has really good advice to anybody that wants to get into the world of cosplay. So Hanaka, thank you so much for joining me up here on Who's That Cosplayer. Before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook like Hanaka Ayami. And that's all. Hanaka Ayami. That's
Awesome.
me. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very grateful, and it's a full honor to be here. And I hope that you enjoyed my silly words and non-words, but I hope you have a great time with us because I definitely enjoyed it from the beginning to the end, this interview. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love that. That really makes me happy. And, you know, I had a fun time talking to you. And I hope that everybody that watched this interview, I hope that you had a fun time watching it. You know where you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Like I always say, keep that pinky up. Stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.